morning, driving to work, surprise, and I'm thinking a lot about Tim. I had a huge wave of grief come over me yesterday afternoon in the midst of a meeting, and it just sort of like crept up out of the blue as I had my attention momentarily turned towards Father's Day, and then just started thinking about the girls and not having a dad this Father's Day. And it was just hitting hard. And I know that the firsts of grief and like the first of things are hard. At least that's how it feels. It feels like the first time we encounter an anniversary, or we encounter a special day, or we're doing something that we did with Tim. It's like each time we do it the first time, it feels like the most painful to be without him. So I just kind of laid low last night and just sat with my feelings, and that felt probably better than just about anything. I feel like the feelings of grief it feels like a lot like a baby inside that needs to be held close. I don't know, it's weird. It's just like this tender baby that's really vulnerable, and nobody on the outside can see it. But you know it's there because you feel it, and you feel it fluttering, but this feeling like this baby's never going to come out. Like you'll never get to meet it or see it again. It's kind of a strange description of grief, but that's how it feels to me. It's like I feel the closeness of Tim, but I also have this awareness that I'm never going to see him again. At least not in this life. And then last night in the middle of the night, my youngest came in, and she was feeling it and crying, and so it feels like it just comes in waves, and we just have to let it wash over us so that it can transform into something else. I've been spending a lot of time just kind of piecing together photos from our trip to Italy, and I put them together in a slot, like kind of a video, and it's about 20 minutes long. But what it feels like to me is it's just a stringing together of what really prompted us to buy the farm that we are living on. It prompted us to go down this road of moving to Wisconsin and kind of Tim's cooking adventures, and it's informed a lot about our family, kind of the direction our family has gone in. And I've been thinking a lot about legacy, and legacy is this part of ourselves that we leave behind for those that those who survive us. And legacy it's alive. It's this living part of us that lives on through other people somehow. And I'm just feeling this part in me of like, there's, it lives on to the degree that we allow it to, that we choose it, that we open to it. And I look around me where we live, and Tim is like written all over it. And I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm like, I have all kinds of ideas about what I might do to extend the life of our place, our home, our farmstead, and ideas that Tim and I talked about quite a bit. One of the things that he said shortly before he died was, you had a vision here too, and in kind of the heat of the moment of the aftermath of my death, like, I just don't want you to give up on your dreams for this place. And it's a conversation that I've revisited often, and I feel like, I have choice whether to stay or go, and what to do with, it's like together we breathe life into this little farm property, and it's all kind of sitting there primed and ready, and I can just kind of fold it up and turn it over, or I can open it up and like breathe a whole lot of life into it. And I think for anyone that's carrying on the legacy that someone else left behind, it isn't an easy choice, because breathing life into it means that, like, every single day you're reminded of that person, and there's a bittersweetness to that. But there's this like intimacy and closeness that I feel in, like, living amidst the things, the remembrances of like Tim and our time together, and kind of all that we invested in bringing it to the point that the state that it's currently in. So I can tell that I'm not at a choice point yet. I'm just sort of like in this decision phase where I'm weighing and feeling and exploring and listening. It's funny because while we lived together in the place that we're in, there were many a time where I was just like, can we just let it rest and move on? Do we need to keep going with this? Especially in the latter 2 years when he was so sick. But then I also felt like every single day that he looked outside, it was another reason to live, another reason to move forward with his treatments. And all of those memories are like really ingrained in me, and yeah. So it's kind of the place I'm currently in right now. I look extremely tired. Oh well. Part of it's this horrible lighting. So, grief and legacy. Those are the two things that I'm present to this morning. Yeah. All right. Sending you off with peace, and thanks for listening.